This is Darren.
And this is Paige.
And this is
Where's the Lemonade?
Where we try and figure out what to do with those lemons that...
Are thrown at us?
Yeah, are thrown at us.
Make some lemonade?
Maybe. I guess it depends on the week.
For sure.
This week we're talking about spending time alone.
My favorite kind of time.
Yeah, together.
Yeah, that's important. Together, yeah.
Recently, we took a trip to Panama alone.
We did. It was great.
Well, alone together.
Alone together, yes. Yeah. It was fabulous.
So we learned early on in our marriage that we want to always take the opportunity to be together, alone, without kids.
Yes, very important. Super important when we have 10 kids. Even if we only had 2 kids, though, it would still be important to...
Absolutely. And we've had the luxury of being able to take trips, both near and far together.
Yes.
And this last one in Panama City was really important for us. We needed a break, and we almost didn't go.
We did. It was kind of a last-minute trip.
Yeah, like 3 weeks planning.
Yeah, it was. It was like, hey, we've got this 1 week that we can do this. Let's do it.
Yeah, and we literally crammed it in between one of our daughters having a baby and work and...
Yeah.
But it was well worth it. And we learned early on in our marriage that this time that we got to spend alone was extremely important.
Yes, because when you are in a second marriage, there is no just the two of us starting out like you are when you in your first marriage. And you get to start that honeymoon phase. And there really isn't a honeymoon phase for second marriages, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would agree. In fact, it's in a grow up together.
Yeah.
And they get to learn from each other.
Right.
And we don't have that. We are already somewhat grown.
Somewhat, yes. Very somewhat grown. We'll just leave it at that.
Exactly. And so we have to learn about each other. And there's still more growing that we get to do together.
Right.
Which is really wonderful, I think.
Yeah. And so that's why these trips are really important. And it's important to disconnect from everyone and everything. And we're really good at that.
Oh, yes, we are. Yeah, in fact, we don't call the kids.
And we've gotten better over the years. When we first used to go, we did call the kids and check in. And no, we don't do that anymore.
No, we don't. They're a little bit older now, too.
They are.
But also, I think it's important that we get to pretend like we have no responsibilities for a week.
We do. We pretend that there's no kids, no exes, no bills, which,
we always have to come back to reality. We always have to come back to reality. In fact, I remember one of our trips specifically, we were driving back from San Francisco back to, California, Folsom, where we live, and it's about a 2-hour drive. And the closer and closer we got to home, the more quiet you became.
Yes, I feel the weight, gaining on my shoulders as we start to head back home. As we get closer and closer, the burdens.
And you were kind of getting grumpy, too.
What? Me grumpy?
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go on these trips if I come back with a grumpy wife.
It's hard when especially since we have such an amazing time when we're on these trips together because we're such good vacationers.
We really are.
We should write a book about how to vacation, honey.
Yes, we should.
But it is when we're heading back to our responsibilities, which I love our life and I love our home and I love our reality, but it's still a lot of responsibility.
Thinking about everything becomes somewhat overwhelming.
Thinking of my to-do list when, for a week on our trips, the only to-do list is to relax and to have fun.
Maybe shower every once in a while.
If we can squeeze it in.
Yeah, put some clothes on instead of bathing suits.
Yes, but so I do get a little melancholy when we get closer to home.
But not so much anymore.
No.
Yeah, and the first couple of years it was like that.
Yeah.
And I was really worried. I said, we can't vacation all the time. We have to pay the bill sometimes.
Yes, we do. So, that's why it's important for us to go away, to be alone, to connect with each other, and to disconnect.
Yeah, and learn about each other even more.
Yes, yep.
I mean, it's been 7.5 years we've been married now, and I learn something new every time that we go.
All good things, right?
All great things, yes. All great things.
I wish you could see his face right now. I think he's being sarcastic.
Just a little bit. So one thing that you learned about me that I really appreciated, that you at least you were open to it, and it was how I relax.
Oh my goodness. Yes, our first beach vacation, because our first vacation alone was to London and Poland. It was actually a work trip for you that I tagged along. But our first relaxing vacation,
where I didn't have any connectivity to work or anything.
Yes, our first and it wasn't just go go go. We head to the beach, and you brought your computer,
my laptop. Yeah.
That was a little surprising for me, and I.
You said, "You're not doing work, are you?" I said, "No."
Yeah, that is true. But I felt like there was, a certain.
Come on, spit it out.
I can't think.
Yeah, and having a computer is not one of those things.
And so I had my book, and you had your computer.
And I explained to you, for me to relax, I'm a software engineer. I'm a programmer, and I don't get to do a lot of it at work anymore. And one of the things I really enjoy doing is solving problems. I enjoy sitting down with a program and solving a problem and making it my own. And that's really relaxing to me. It just kind of just helps me calm down. Where you love to read.
Yes. Well, I don't read too much when we're at home in our everyday life. I don't read too much at all.
There's no time.
Yeah. But when we go on a trip, yes, I always choose a book or two and read a book, read for a little bit, take a nap, get a pina colada, take a swim, read, nap, repeat,
Exactly.
And when you pull out your laptop, I was
a little shocked, but you're not anymore.
No, and I understand now that is how.
Exactly.
And when you pull out your laptop, I was
a little shocked, but you're not anymore.
No, and I understand now that is how you relax. And even if you were doing work, as long as you were relaxed, I wouldn't even care. I mean, I want us to be relaxed and to be de-stressed.
And this last trip was great. It was great. And you asked about the program I was working on and what it was doing, and I appreciated that. Even though I know you really didn't care, you showed that you cared.
Yes. Sometimes we have to pretend to be interested in each other's interest, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the book that she's reading. Now, this is kind of funny because normally I would say I'm not a great nonfiction person.
Right.
I don't read. I read so much for work, or fiction person. I read so much for work.
Yes.
That I'm kind of tired of reading. But when you're reading there and I'm programming, I'll stop and say, "How's your book?"
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm really interested. I want to find out. Maybe you've been reading too many of these mystery, Black Widow novels. Do I need to be concerned a little bit?
Just always eat the food first, babe.
Yes, that's right.
So no, you do. You like to get into the book that I'm reading, and I like to hear about whatever program or coding that you're working on. And
well, I like seeing you excited about something.
Yeah.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
I think that's what we've learned on these trips is we've learned and found out what each other person enjoys, and we've got to experience that together.
Yes, and we find out what we enjoy together and what we enjoy
separate.
So just because I enjoy reading a book doesn't mean you have to read a book. And
no, but I found out a way to enjoy it with you.
Yes.
Without reading it.
Right.
Just by asking. I love talking to you.
Yes, we do. We enjoy talking. Have ever since we first met.
Yeah.
That was never a
problem.
That was never a problem.
Closed down restaurants.
Yes. Never a problem having a conversation.
Yeah.
And always learning more about each other. And we learn sometimes that we might annoy each other.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever annoyed you.
No, never. Never. So we were talking about, what we've learned on these trips. Sometimes I can read when Paige is tired of looking at castles.
Yes.
Or we've already seen X number of cathedrals in Europe. Do we need to see one more today?
Yes.
Or are we done?
Darren is, Mr. History buff and wants to learn more and more and more and more. And after, beautiful castle number 4, I'm castled out. I'm historied out.
And I've learned to recognize that, so we mix things up on vacations a little bit more, and
yes,
and we find really fun things to do with each other. And I think the reason why we vacation so well is putting each other first.
Yes, and we're very considerate I think that sometimes that gets lost in marriages.
I think
and
so.
we're always very considerate and polite and, understanding of each other. And like we said before, sometimes we have to fake interest, and that's okay. Fake it till you make it, right?
That's right. And then I truly believe that because I know you like that on programming, because you've asked me about those programs even after we've got home. How did that go?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know that it's like you like them. It's more that you want to see me happy.
Yeah, for sure. And what you're interested in, I want to be part of. So, and I think that that's helped our relationship as well, is I'm interested in what you're doing at work. I'm interested in the people that you're working with. And especially, I like to hear any social gossip.
Oh, I really wish you could just be in a lot of meetings I'm in so you could say, hey, look at this, They acted exactly how you said they were going to act,
yes,
right? Or something like that.
Exactly. So, but yeah. So
let's talk about our trip to Panama. Well, what did you like? What was it that drew us to Panama?
Well, I know when we told people we were going to Panama, seemed to be the collective response was, why Panama? And I guess because we have been fortunate enough. We have traveled a lot. You travel a lot with work, and sometimes I tag along. We rack up a lot of points, and so we take trips that way. And so we have been to many places, and we wanted a
relaxing vacation,
and we wanted a warm climate to go to.
Yes, since it's winter. Yes, since it's winter time.
Even though we do live in California, and our cold is definitely not,
No, it's not.
Other people's cold, but we wanted something warm. And so Panama, it wasn't too far. We didn't want to have to travel for 24 hours or, we didn't want to go too far. We wanted someplace not too expensive, and we wanted someplace warm, right?
Panama fit the number that we hadn't been to.
Yes, because we've been to Costa Rica a couple years ago. Loved Costa
loved
Rica.
It. Yeah.
Panama's close to Costa Rica, and
we heard good things about it.
And so, and we were excited about seeing the Panama Canal.
Yeah, which was really cool.
It was really cool. So that was why we chose Panama.
Yeah, you know what? And it turned out to be much better than I expected.
Yes.
Yeah, we stayed at a resort outside of Panama City, about 2.5 hours it took us to drive it.
Yep.
In a place called Rio Hato at the Benaventura Marriott.
Yep.
I am a total Marriott points
Yes, you
guy.
are.
So we had a week stay at this beautiful resort, 2.5 hours outside of anywhere, right out along this beautiful beach. And we were shocked when we first got there. There was no one there.
Yeah, it was pretty empty.
And this is their high season. So I was like, whoa, what's going on? We talked to the people there, and we found out that, and we found out on the weekend, it was much more crowded because all the people that lived in Panama City would come out to the resorts on the weekend because it's their summertime.
Yes, the kids are not in school. Yeah, this is summer for them.
So for the whole week we were there, only 2 of the days was a crowd. The rest of the time, we basically had the beach to ourselves.
Yeah, it was amazing. And the weather there was, it was perfect. I don't think we've ever been on a vacation where the weather was, the high was 88, the low was
75.
Yeah, 75. Always a breeze.
Yeah.
And very low humidity. Always a breeze.
Yeah.
And very low humidity. It was incredible.
Yeah, no rain.
I
kept hoping for a nice big thunderstorm.
You did. You wanted a storm.
But I didn't get it. But beautiful, beautiful sunsets, and we had a lot of fun. They have a lot of activities in Benaventura. We went horseback riding one day along the beach, something I've never done before.
That was super cool.
Yeah, my horse was stubborn, though.
My horse was very obedient, and your horse just wanted to give you problems.
Yes, and it did. It wouldn't go in the water at all. It stayed away from the water. And Paige is out there galloping in the water, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? So
yes, that was a lot of fun. That was one of the only activities that we did, though.
That we did. We normally do a lot of other things, but we just didn't want to this time.
We did. We just decided when we went to the office, the activity office, to talk to the people, and she wasn't there.
Yeah.
And we thought, okay, we'll come back. And then as we left, we went.
No, we just relaxed. It was awesome.
Yeah.
One day we sat by the pool, and the other 4 days we sat by the beach.
And then we'd walk over to the pool and take a dip.
It was a great trip. And then one day we went. Was it Sunday? Yeah.
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, Sunday we went to church,
Yep.
which that's something we always like to do in a foreign country.
Yes, that's always very cool.
Is go to church and meet the locals there, and just it's a wonderful experience.
Yep.
And afterwards, we met some expats that were there, talked to them about Panama.
Yep.
Those are exciting things for me. I love learning about the people that live there, that are from another country, listening to their experience, and talking to the locals as well.
Yeah.
They tell us good places to eat.
Yes, that's what I always like. We always get kind of the scoop, the lowdown.
The lowdown, right? And then after that, we went up to this great little village called Anton Valley.
We always get kind of the scoop, the lowdown.
The lowdown, right? And then after that, we went up to this great little village called Anton Valley.
That place was cool. It was in what was it called?
A cauldron of a dormant volcano.
Yes, it was beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous.
It was great. Oh, and you know what we forgot to mention? While the Pope was there.
Oh, that's right. So we arrive in the evening about 7:00, and there are posters of everything. I guess it was World Youth Week.
Yes.
And the Pope was there, and several cardinals. And fascinating, because when we went and rented our car, they said, you do not want to drive downtown Panama. All these streets are shut down. I said, what's going on? He says, the Pope is here. Haven't you seen all the posters all over the place?
Yeah.
And there were posters everywhere.
They were everywhere. And as we drove through the Anton Valley, there were...
They were hoping the Pope would drive to Anton Valley and see their little village and stop. And everything was just absolutely gorgeous.
It was. It was really cool. And we went on a little hike there. We saw a waterfall. Yep.
Great, beautiful waterfalls.
That was really cool.
In the jungle.
In the jungle. And it had a little pool there, right? A natural pool.
Yeah, a natural pool.
We didn't swim in it. But we went and took a look at it, and it looked pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. And then we ate at this beautiful little restaurant.
A little chateau.
A little, Casa de Lourdes.
Yes.
She was a
chef.
A Michelin chef in Italy. And she moved to Panama. And she moved into Anton Valley, and she established this little bed and breakfast there and this wonderful restaurant.
The food was incredible.
Incredible food. And the scenery there. She built this Tuscan retreat there in the cauldron of this volcano.
Yes.
Incredible food. And the scenery there. She built this Tuscan retreat there in the cauldron of this volcano, surrounded by jungle. It was absolutely a wonderful time.
It was cool. And then we went to the zoo.
The zoo. Our standards of zoos are different than the standards of zoos.
San Diego Zoo was a great zoo, right?
Yes.
But this zoo, no.
No, it wasn't. It was interesting.
It had peacocks, and it had a few monkeys.
It had some monkeys, and it had a jaguar.
It had a jaguar. That was probably the highlight. But it was kind of funny. But the people in there were having picnics and playing soccer. It was kind of a little,
We were really the only foreigners there.
Yes.
It was for the locals.
Yes, for sure.
But it was what a wonderful time. And then after spending the day in Anton Valley, we drove back about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive.
Let's talk about that, Darren.
No, let's not talk.
What happened on
something about the Pan American? It's called the Pan American Highway.
Yes.
Right. It's supposed to run all the way from Alaska all the way down to Patagonia in South America. But there's a part of it that's blocked now in Panama. It's in the Panama-Colombian border. And I also learned something else because I got to drive on the Pan American Highway, which is exciting for me because I love to drive. They change the speed limit often on this
without
highway.
Notifying us.
There was one sign.
There's not a lot of signage, though.
No, there wasn't. So it went from 100 kilometers an hour down to 80 kilometers an hour, and I was going 102 kilometers an hour. And it's funny because the policeman, he just stands in the middle of the freeway.
Yes.
And he points at you, and then you pull over.
Yes. And so he pointed at us, and we pulled over.
We just had to experience Panama in its fullness.
Yes. And so this policeman pulled for our passports. We were not...
we didn't have with us.
Yes.
They were in our hotel.
They were in our hotel room in a safe, which we thought was the right thing to do, but we found out that you're actually supposed to have your passport with you.
Yeah, I should have known that.
So he was, and he did not speak English, and he was very upset with us because we didn't have our passports.
Right, and he wrote 80 on a piece of paper and 102. So that's how I knew I was going 102.
Yes, and so he very angrily wrote us a speeding ticket that gave us no direction on how to pay. It says nothing about where to pay it, how to pay it, how much to pay. Like, it says nothing.
And all he had was our license plate for the rental car.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting a bill from the rental car sometime.
Probably. And just
like every other rental car that I've been in.
Just so our listeners know that this is like a collection that Darren is, starting. I think we got a ticket in Italy. We got a ticket in France.
I didn't get that one in Belgium. I just got yelled at.
You just got yelled at by the policeman there. He's idiots. So we've had a few. He has a little bit of a lead foot. Let's just say that.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. But no, that was a little bit of a nervous excitement there for a few minutes.
I wasn't nervous at all, but you were nervous. I thought that was interesting.
When he asked for our passports and we didn't have them, and he got so angry, I was a little nervous. I thought we were going to be in the Panama jail, and
he didn't ask us for a bribe.
He did not ask us for a bribe.
Which I appreciate, because you hear about the horror stories in Mexico or Guatemala, but Panama seemed to be very safe.
Yes, it did.
And there were cops all over the place. There were speed traps all over. So if you are driving on the Pan American,
go the speed limit.
Go the speed limit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Try and find out what it is.
Yes, exactly. Find out what it is. Or make sure someone at least is going faster than you.
Yes, follow someone else. Yeah. So, and while we were there in Panama, we talked about this podcast.
Yeah, this is another thing that we always do on these trips.
Yes.
We always spend some time on these trips.
Yes.
We always spend some time talking about things outside of the normal.
Yep. And this time we decided, we'd already talked a little bit about a podcast, and then we kind of outlined it and decided we're going to go for it. We're going to do it. So
it was productive. It was
productive. We talk a lot about, on our trips, we talk about our future, long-term, short-term, where we want to live when the kids are gone. We talk about
if we'll ever get to retire.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
So that's why we have 10 kids. We're going to rotate around the kids.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all into that.
They're all excited about that.
Good thing we don't take callers on our show.
No, good thing. They would all be calling in right now. What? What are you talking about?
They'd all be saying, no, so-and-so gets to take you. No, so-and-so gets to take you.
I remember one of our times that we were alone. By ourselves. And we said, hey, we want to make sure that, it was really early on in our marriage, we want our kids to know that we are a family.
Yes.
And we established a routine on going on family reunions.
Yes.
Of every 4 years, going someplace special. Everyone's invited, and we'll supply a place to stay and food and things like that. And what I found is us just planning that and letting the kids know, it's been amazing watching how the kids interact.
Yeah.
There is no your kids and my kids or step siblings with our kids.
No, they really want to be together.
Yeah, which is really amazing to me.
Yeah, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy that they all get along and want to be together.
I think that has to do with us talking about that almost 7 years ago.
Yeah.
When we first talked about this,
right?
Because of us, we fell in love, right? That how can they be a cohesive family? And we plan that. So these times that you have to be alone, the times that you have to do this can spark some really creative and great ideas beyond your normal day-to-day stuff that you do.
And I think being alone with each other, it helps us focus on one another, and it helps us kind of fall in love with each other again. Because with our crazy life that we have, and we do have a crazy busy life, you can get bogged down in the details of day-to-day life and distractions, and I think it's really important for any marriage that you spend time alone working on your relationship and focusing on each other.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I think it's done wonders for us. So twice a year we go,
Yes.
right, somewhere. It doesn't have to be far, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can even just send your kids away.
Yes, we've done that. We've
Yeah.
had a staycation before.
Yeah, where we just stayed at home and just spent time together,
Right.
right? And, called in sick or, took vacation days at work and just,
Yeah.
spent time together.
Just spend time together. It's important.
Close down restaurants because we're talking.
That's right. That's right. But and date night is important. If you can't get away on a trip for more than, a couple days, a regular date night, which we try and do.
Yeah, we're pretty good at. I mean, we also do lunches too.
Yeah, I was going to say I guess date night isn't as important for us because we do have time alone together during the day. Since you work so close to our home, we have lunches together frequently.
I could go home for a long lunch.
Yes. So we
for a long lunch.
Yes. So we do get to see each other frequently during the day, and so anyway, that's another blessing we have in our life that you work so close to home.
It is, and one thing I've noticed by spending that time with you, I've really learned to appreciate who you are, and the things that you like, and they interest me. I like seeing you smile.
I'm so glad. That makes me happy.
Yeah.
And I know that you like to see me happy, and I like to see you happy too.
So I think one of the greatest things that we learn from these trips is really that if we show how much we love each other, and our kids know how important these trips are to us, that they see that and they can show that in their own lives, what it's like to have a good, strong relationship.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've seen that with the kids. They tend to they love that we're a family, that we're cohesive that way.
Yep.
That we're a family, that we're cohesive that way.
Yep, I agree. All right, well, are we going to share a funny moment to close this out?
I guess we should.
So we're always going to share a funny moment at the end of our podcast. So this funny moment happened at the Panama Canal.
It did, which is a really cool place.
It was. We ate at a restaurant where we could sit and look out the window
and watch the ships come through the locks.
Yeah, that was really cool. So anyway, we were at the top floor. There's 4 floors. We're at the very top floor, and we headed towards the elevator where there's a big group heading towards the elevator. And the worker there was kind of shooing everybody away from the elevator, saying, use the stairs. And then she saw Darren. Darren has white hair. He has had white hair for
20 years.
20 years. He's only 50, just turned 50 this year. But he's had white hair for a long time. And so they said, "Oh no, sir, you can use the elevator. Older people can use the elevator."
Yeah. I wasn't using the elevator from that point. Pull around them.
Yeah, I'm like, I would have used the elevator, but whatever. So yeah,
Paige thinks that's really funny.
It was funny when people think that you're older than you are because of your white hair.
I remember one of those moments. It's when Sam, I took him to Home Depot.
Yeah.
And we were going to go make birdhouses. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And someone said, "Oh, your grandpa brought you to." I went, "This is not funny."
It is a little funny.
Not at all.
It's a little funny.
So.
Well, if people want to see your white hair, they can go to our Facebook page, the Where's the Lemonade Facebook page, and they can see how young you look, babe.
That's right, how young I look, and you'll see some of the photos from our trip up there.
Yeah.
Some fun times.
On our next episode,
We're going to talk about traditions,
combining some
creating some,
and dropping some.
even